Hey, I'm Matt with Let's Talk Music. I'm here with Yvonne. uh, Say the name for me. Treedeon?
Treedeon.
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 Okay.
I guess the pronunciation in German is a little different. Germans say specifically every letter. So there we
Gotcha.
go, Treedeon.
So you don't sound like you're originally from Germany.
No, actually, I'm from Burlington, Ontario, Canada.
Oh, okay. So how did you
But
in Germany?
um, basically military brat. My parents worked in NATO in Heidelberg, and I moved to Berlin when I was really young, just because the city is, I mean, you're a kid out in the middle of military town. It was just not enough for me. So I heard that Berlin was the place to be. I stuck my thumb out and I hitchhiked to Berlin. That
So
was in 83, though. It was a
oh
different time, a different city.
yeah. Yeah, I hear you there. 83. Yeah, I kind of remember 83. I was about five, I think. But so is that where your music career started at? Was in Germany?
Exactly, yeah. Me personally, I started playing with bands in the early 80s. I think about 1984. I played in a band called Come Not Conform, and then Manson Youth, the punk band. And then from the ashes of those two bands, we formed Jingle Lunch, which was a band from 1987 to literally 2000. I think we stopped at 2012. And yeah, and then I met Arna, who used to play in a band called Ulma, one of the first noise rock bands in Germany. I
Hmm.
was so into their music, and his band broke up, and my band broke up simultaneously. And we had played a show just recently before that. And so we always wanted to do a song together. So we did a song together, and then now we're in a band, and we've been playing together since 2012. So
Awesome. Um, so the New World Hoarder is the new EP or LP.
LP, yeah. Mhm.
Yep. And
It's got few songs, but they're very long.
yes, and that's the kind of music I'm used to anyways. If you go back in the 80s, one of the bands that I used to listen to quite frequently was Metallica. And I mean, I think the whole Master of Puppets album was like, I don't know, it was long because every song on there was, extremely 6, 7 minutes, whatever.
Oh man, I remember when that record came out. It was amazing.
Yeah, I
It's,
think that's their best one.
yeah.
But no, it was so you played a gig last night.
Yeah, we did. We played our record release party. And the special thing about the gig that we played last night is we played in a place called Zukunft am Ostkreuz. And it's a cultural center off sort of the main part of Berlin.
Hmm.
It's sort of like more of a collective. It houses Swamp Fest, Vendetta Fest, some of the best alternative metal festivals that we have in Berlin, and just a range of different types of metal and hardcore, punk, rock, but basically a lot of metal. And the kids, from like young kids to older people, and everybody works together. And it's just been such a really, really nice cultural center where there's films and there's lots of art gallery. They have a brewery there, and shows.
Nice.
And unfortunately, they're tearing it down to build an office building.
No, come on.
Yes, so we've been rallying since last year. We've finally gotten a new place for the Zukunft to move to, which isn't too far away,
Hmm.
but it was possibly the last show at this cultural center, which is so heartbreaking. So,
No, I mean, at least you guys were the ones that got to play it.
yeah, definitely. We really wanted to send it off with a good feeling. So,
Yeah, it was where Dimebag Darrell was killed at the Alrosa Villa. That's probably 15 minutes from my house, and
wow.
they tore that down. just recently. They kept it open for years, and they just tore that down to build apartments.
Oh, man.
So there was the day that before the demolition was supposed to start, there was a ton of people there that
I bet, like a memorial, huh?
yeah, took pictures
Were
after
you there at that show?
I was supposed to be. I did not get to go, which
Oh, God.
um, I'm I'm thankful I didn't, but
Ugh.
I remember when that happened. It was a freaking just a hammer to the head for metal that day.
You're always, if you're standing on a stage anywhere in the world, you're always like an open target.
Hmm.
We trust that nothing will happen. But I actually played a show with my old band, Jingody Lunch, in Yugoslavia, pre-war Yugoslavia.
Hmm.
And we opened for Motorhead.
Okay.
And there was just such a violent undertone to the audience at that time. Um, I remember after we played, we were staying at the sidelines of the on the stage,
Hmm.
and so we kept on seeing these things whizzing by. What it turned out to be were coins with razor blades glued onto them, and one of the razor blades hit Lemmy's hand and just tore open his hand. He bled all over the stage. The
Wow.
roadies came on and they were mopping up his blood. And the show stopped, obviously.
Right.
And I remember right after that, they just like, they had to quit the entire tour. But that's just like one of the things that's always still in my head from, you open yourself to anything once you're on the stage.
That doesn't make sense to me because a concert is supposed to be, fun. It's supposed to be enjoyable. And why people would want to do something ignorant like that is it just doesn't make any sense.
It's community,
Oh, yeah.
especially in metal. It's such a community. I mean,
Yeah.
here where I'm from, yeah, people, it's not an explainable, really. I think that kind of mindset. I can't get into that mindset. Why we would want to, tear into there's so much bullshit in the world. Why tear into this community that's pretty much for the most part very accepting? So
Yeah. I feel you on that one. Yeah, I mean, as like I said, I went to a concert last night, did a couple interviews, and I mean, being St. Patrick's Day, and it was a small
that's
venue,
right.
400 people. It was sold out. It was a blast. I mean, there wasn't. I don't even think I seen an argument. Everybody was just there to have a good time. The bands played. They afterwards they come out and was signing autographs, giving hugs, shaking hands. Whatever you want to do, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, that's kind of why I'm wore out today.
Yeah.
And trying to enjoy it and trying to cover it at the same time. Because I was taking photos and everything, and it was I took my 16-year-old daughter with me. It was her first concert, so
Wow, her first concert.
yeah, she was so excited, and the fact that we was backstage and hanging with the musicians and stuff, she was just
Oh,
beyond
that's so
herself.
dope. Oh,
So,
oh my God.
yeah.
Cool. Very cool. Oh, you're a cool dad, man.
Yeah, she's she's just like me. I mean, when it comes to music, she's very into it. I turn her on to a lot of new stuff because I hear a lot of new stuff. With talking to musicians and doing these interviews, I'm like, oh, check out this band I'm doing tonight. And she's Beartooth. They're a band out of Columbus, excuse me, out of Columbus, and she loves them. They're a national band. They're huge, but yeah, she loves them. And then I think she fell in love with these bands last night.
Who played at the show?
There are three bands called. One was called To Kill a Monster. The other one was Over and Out. They used to be Rumspringa, and the other one, the headliner was Harmless Habit. So, like I did a short of Harmless Habit's song called Fight Sound, and within hours it had 1,000 views.
Wow.
So,
Great.
yeah, I mean, they're all big in their own way, but they're starting to get a little bit bigger with with Harmless Habit, they're talking, they're looking for a record deal and stuff like that. So
Mm.
all local bands though. It was
All local bands, yeah.
yeah. I support the shit out of local bands.
That's great to have so many people at the local shows. I
Well, and
mean,
that's what
community.
right, and that's what they were saying because like right across the street, the Ohio State Buckeyes, they were playing in the NCAA tournament, and they could have
And
people
St. Patrick's Day,
right,
right?
and
I mean,
people
everybody goes out someplace to drink and shit.
right, and
So
I mean people could have went anywhere they wanted, but they sold out this show.
awesome, cool, very cool.
Um, Definitely understand the whole community thing, but yeah, it was just so laid back. It's so much fun, and I mean there was all ages there. I know there was a kid there that was younger. My daughter, he was probably maybe 12, maybe 10. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it does when you're playing a show, I mean, you shouldn't have to worry about, ignorance. I mean, if people want to be
Mhm.
ignorant out in the crowd and, get into it or, have an extreme mosh pit or, wall of death or whatever you want to call it, that's fine. But the musicians shouldn't have to worry.
Yeah, definitely. We shouldn't have to be, worried that something, could befall us. Yeah, I've gotten beer bottles to the heads before.
Are you
Um,
serious?
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't think it was very malicious, but maybe I'm gonna say it was maybe a little careless.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, there's always that chance, right? If we don't kill ourselves on stage, it's all by ourselves. Yeah. But I guess I've been lucky in that aspect. I have been to a couple of shows where accidents have happened. Like, for instance, I went to a show in central Berlin.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ice-T back in the day with Body Count. And the balcony in the hall came crashing down. And I had moved in front of that balcony like a meter right before it came down.
Wow.
And several people got hurt. And of course, that was the end of that concert. And I also played a show with Bad Religion in Spain.
Mm-hmm.
And after we played the show, Bad Religion was playing, and people were jumping up and down. And unbeknownst to us, the floor was not constructed as well as it should have been. And there was a parking garage right underneath it.
Oh,
And people were just jumping up and down so much. And all of a sudden, the entire floor fell through. And about 300 people just fell into this parking deck.
wow.
And, a lot of people got hurt too. And
That,
these are like the nightmares that you have as a band, like the worst possible things that can happen. So and that's why we need to watch out for each other at concerts, watch out sometimes. Um, Also, that's why so many venues have to watch out for their specs. Like, you can't have that many people in a room that's gonna be really dangerous. So
right.
yeah, we trust and take for granted that these things will always be safe, but sometimes they're not. So
Yeah, yeah, that's very true. So you guys are considered like a sludge noise rock trio. And tell me about the new LP. I mean, there's what, like 6 songs on it, I think.
6 songs, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Basically, the last year before Corona started, we had tons of shows in 2019, and then we had this lockdown. And luckily, there's 3 of us, and our local rules dictated that we could be together as 2 households. So we were in the practice room all the time, and we basically made like 2 albums worth of stuff. But we recorded, I think it was, when was it, 21? We recorded these songs, and the best songs that we picked out for this record. And we had several other lockdowns through the whole mixing process, so it just took so long. If you're mixing through WhatsApp, it's not very satisfactory, so to
Right.
say. So we had to spend a lot of time on the back end, just fixing the sound that we wanted. And we came out with finally got it out. this yesterday. So very thankful for that. Yeah, I'd say we're a little mixture of different types of sound. A lot of people see our sludge elements, our doom elements. We're more of a noisy band, I think. We have a lot of groove. I wouldn't want to pin us down to anything too specific because we have so many different elements through the different, like our records or our different songs. So we try to mix it up to what we like. I don't know. We're not really set on one thing. So
Good. I see you got basses and guitars back there. Do you play?
I play all the bass and sing, and Arna plays guitar and he sing and screams. He's right next to me here. And our drummer just left. So yeah, I do bass.
Okay, so when you talk about groove sounds, that's a lot of coming from the drums and the bass. So
Exactly, yeah. But well, the way we make songs is kind of interesting. Um, there are two main ways we make the songs. Arna comes with he sits here in his room and does a lot of guitar work and sits and builds his songs up at home on the couch. And then he'll bring them to the practice room and we'll start playing them and jamming on them. And sometimes they are a direct result of us just jamming in the practice room. But we all have different, sometimes he comes with specific things that he wants in the song, and sometimes play it half as fast. And so everybody has a say, and we jam together and get the songs together basically in those two ways.
okay. And are you the one that does majority of the lyrical writing?
No, actually we split that up. Whatever Arna sings, he writes lyrics for. Whatever I sing, I write lyrics for. We've recently, and I think it was Viking meditation song, we sort of collaborated with the lyrics on that. So,
Yeah,
and he sings that.
I really like that video. That was trippy.
Yeah, we made those videos like at home, just figuring stuff out in the practice room and on the way to the practice room and at home. So there's so many possibilities for us now as a band with a computer and all these different iMovie and all these different little programs that we can just do things for ourselves, like we've always wanted to have that the direct say on what goes in everything. And now that we have the possibility to make them ourselves, Arna just got himself into the program, learned it in a couple of weeks, and there we go. And there you have it. So,
Yeah, that is one of the great things about new technology is being able to there's so many different programs to do so many different things. And I your Facebook kind of runs off of an algorithm. So my algorithm obviously is music. So I get everything music. I'll get, programs for mixing and mastering. I'll get programs for, just all kinds of stuff. And I mean, obviously I'm not, into that sort of thing. So I haven't really looked into them, but, um, you know, I think that, I was talking with a musician the other day and I said, hey, the day of Headbangers Ball and stuff, I'm nostalgic, I miss that. But, we was talking about the point of back then you was spending, or your label was spending 250, $300,000 for you to make this video.
oh yeah.
And now you can do one for like, $1,000, $2,000 with YouTube and, a camera and just some effects. So
Yeah.
that's where I think, it is helpful to have that, but I still miss my Headbangers Ball.
Yeah. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I grew up in that era. Just when MTV came online when I was a kid, and just being able to see these bands and just hang out all night, drinking beer, watching videos, waiting for the good videos to come on.
Right. Yep. And it was funny too, because I mean, if you bought the cassette tape and it didn't have their picture in it or whatever, you really never knew what they looked like until you seen the video. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
That's what they look like. I remember
Yeah.
seeing Judas Priest for the first time, and I was like, whoa, you know, the video
Yeah.
for Turbo Lover and Yeah, I mean, I really miss those days, but I mean, everything changes. It changes daily. And we just
It's
got
nice to remind the young kids how it was back in the day.
yes,
Sending cassettes, like little scenes, sending cassettes overseas to get cassettes sent back to you with the local scenes from there, and just writing letters, and recording midnight radio shows with your cassette recorder. I mean,
yep.
those were the days, man.
I
It was a
know.
lot harder.
Oh yeah, yeah. I talk about that all the time too, though, is I miss cassette tapes. I just bought a Victrola record player.
Wow.
So I've you know, starting to collect a little more vinyl because I mean that's what people are doing now. They're pressing vinyl. And
Yeah.
it's I usually ask, you guys pressing any vinyl or
Yeah, actually, we have, let me show you around here. We have vinyl right here. And what we've gone and done is actually just take the CD and just thrown it in
oh,
every one of our vinyl things. So
that's
we don't even put a download code in it anymore. We just put it in the vinyl. So you can play it in your car, and or give it to your nephew.
yeah. My daughter has a CD player, so she'd love that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Are those available for order on your website or?
From XL on Mainstream, definitely. Yeah, it's good prices. I think he has a special. I don't know how does Chancellor do it for the international orders. It's all on his website. I can send you the link later on.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. And
definitely.
I'm sure we can just like shoot you one, from our label. So
Okay.
we're very, very grateful to have a label, by the way. It's not every day that you can play in a band and just, have a label to do all the work for you. So, and
Yeah.
last night, Chancellor, shout out to Chancellor, he drove all our stuff from the practice room and helped us load and everything. It's like a dream to have a label. So very
Nice.
appreciative.
And that's Exile?
Exile on Mainstream. Yeah,
Okay. And they're a German label?
exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
I think they're over 100 records, a little independent label.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I've done a little work with Noble Demon out there.
Mhm.
The Noble Demon, they used to be the guy that started it, he's from Nuclear Blast.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've done some work with him, and one of my publicists is actually signed to him. So we've been setting up interviews and stuff. And I tell you what, I mean, the metal, you guys are crushing it with the metal scene over there. I mean, all over Europe. I mean, after you, I have a band from Holland,
Yeah.
and I do Finland, Ireland. I mean, I'm all about music, so I don't care where it comes from or what it is. I like to hear it. I like to talk to people about it, and the ones that create it are my favorite.
Cool. Much appreciated that, we could talk today. This is like totally cool.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another thing about this technology is what about probably 20 years ago would have been on a telephone and it'd have been costing me
Oh, yeah. I
bad money
remember.
for a long distance or an international call, and now
Yeah.
you can do this for free.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So, all right, Yvonne. Well, I do appreciate your time. I'm gonna go ahead and let you get to relaxing. I know you guys had a gig and you said you had a very late night. So,
I'm gonna hit up the PlayStation now.
all right, you do that, and I'll make sure to check out the album, and if you guys can maybe throw some signatures on there, that'd be great too.
Definitely. Yeah. Um, I'll send you any links that I have or through David Brenner or
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, you can do it through David, or my direct contact is rock music in the word in, or letter N more at gmail.com.
okay, yeah.
So
All
yeah,
right. And I'll get Chancellor to send a record to you.
awesome. I definitely appreciate it.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Well,
Thanks so much. Have a great weekend, man.
you too. You enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.